My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. Next up at UFC Vegas 24, we have Tony Gravely versus Anthony Birchak. This is a fun one. The odds are all over the place. Not all over the place. The odds are very far apart, and I think it's pretty accurate. So I think it'll be a fun fight. I think the odds are pretty solid, though. But, Dan, what are your thoughts here? How do you see this going?
Yeah, no, I think Tony Gravely trains at American Top Team, so he's getting better and better every fight. Very good wrestler, very good control. His other skills are developing. You know, he's working with a lot of high-level coaches. But I think the big difference in this fight is just going to be the wrestling. It's going to be relentless. It's going to be nonstop. Birchak has a bunch of experience. He went 2-2 in the UFC back in 2014 through 16. You know, he's 34 years old, so he's not old. You know, he's looked good in his fight. He's looked good in some fights. He just hasn't looked special, I'll say. Apparently, he was a USA national champion wrestler. I don't know what level he was at, so he does have some wrestling, but I just think Gravely is going to be too much for him, and I think he's going to cruise to a unanimous decision victory. And get a bunch of takedowns, probably score a good amount of points. But I worry that Birchak might not be able to get back up. And if that's the case, it may not end up being a lot of points. So my pick's Gravely. I'm probably not going to touch this for DraftKings, but I think Gravely will win the fight.
Yeah, so what's interesting, the way I see it, I have Gravely in my lineup. He's my most expensive fighter because they do favor grapplers. Your point about you're worried Birchak won't get back up, your point there, I'm assuming, is not that Gravely will stop him. It's that he'll take him down for 5 points and then just kind of lay on top of him the rest of the round and score nothing else, which is...
Birchak could scramble up, though. He's a wrestler, so he could work for some scrambles. It could be multiple takedowns, but I don't know. I don't want to spend that sort of money to hope for that. You know what I mean? But you might be right. He may get a dozen takedowns.
Well, and my analysis here is that, you know, it is a very clear path to victory. Tony Gravely's going to, you know, take him down, beat him up. And Anthony Birchak has good jiu-jitsu. I think the striking's probably close to even between the two of them. You mentioned Tony Gravely's at American Top Team, training with Cattell and everybody else. So he's probably improving at a faster rate. So maybe he has a slight edge in the striking. The wrestling, I think, is going to go to Tony Gravely. You just mentioned the national champion thing with Birchak, which I hadn't seen that before. But let's say the wrestling goes to Tony Gravely. He's going to do that, and there's no bones about what he's going to do there. And his grappling is very good. Birchak is a good BJJ guy, but I don't think he's good enough. I don't think there's enough threat there to throw something up and submit Gravely. So I don't really see an issue for him. I think it's pretty clear and clean cut. But Jacob, what are your thoughts?
Clay Guida, Poliana Viana.
Oh my God.
Chaz Skelly.
Oh my Lord.
Thiago Moises. Kyler Phillips.
You're losing this week, Jacob. This is going to be your first loss.
Malarkey, Mackenzie Dern, Anthony Birchak. Welcome to Lock of the Week. Welcome to the club, my man. And I'll tell you why. Angelo, you almost got there. I thought you were going to get there, and you almost got there. Tony, let's go through his losses. Submission. 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 5 of his losses are submissions. We go through Anthony's wins. Half his wins are submissions. You go to the tape of Tony. Very good wrestler. Very good wrestler. You watch tape, a lot of times he's in weird scrambles and he's almost gotten caught in arm bars a number of times. I think he's a sloppy jiu-jitsu. I think he's sloppy in his jiu-jitsu. I think he's a great wrestler. And I just think there's an opportunity there for Anthony. I think he's good enough. Angelo, you didn't think he's good enough, but I think it's more of a combination of sloppy jiu-jitsu with Tony, because I've seen him almost get caught a bunch of times in tape, with the skills of Anthony. You combine those, that makes LOTW, lock of the week. This is the absolute most bold.
This is a bold one, I will say.
I'm going on a streak where if I want it to end, I want it to end in flames. So we're going Anthony, the biggest underdog on the card. Talk to me.
Yeah, so I'll talk to you. First of all, half of your analysis is what every other bonehead on YouTube does, where you read their records. His losses are by submission.
I just said I watched the tape.
His wins are by submission.
There's
the pick.
I said I watched the tape and I saw the sloppy jiu-jitsu. I said I watched the tape.
That's why I said the first half. The first half, you're every other bonehead doing these breakdown videos. Well, Tapology says. Your second half, I watched.
By the way, his sub losses was one to Brett Johns a couple fights ago, who's tough.
Very good.
And then before that, you go back to 2018. And then before that, you're in 2017, 2016. And by the way, I didn't even realize this. In 2016, you fought Merab Devishvili, the guy who's like a killer now. Up in New Jersey, right? And Ricky Bandejas, who's also a good fighter. So he was fighting tough guys when he was young, before he was training at American Top Team. And I can tell you right now, he's getting submission looks every single day. So
that's the only
I think you're going to see an improved Tony Gravely every time you see him right now.
Yeah, no, that's the only thing that I was like, I feel good about. I actually kind of felt good. Obviously, I think every lock of the week I feel good about, but this I'm like, okay. And then I saw the interview where he's like, yeah, I'm at ATT now. And I was like, oh, damn it. I was like, so that does give me a little bit more worry, except for, he's the biggest favorite on the card. He should win. I think he's definitely going to get the takedowns. It's just, I just see some sloppiness, and I think Anthony capitalizes on it. So Anthony's the lock of the week. He's in my lineup.
This is a bold one, Jacob. I'll give you credit.
It definitely is.
You guys kept giving me crap for picking the close favorites, so I went all in.
I think he can't handle the stress of all the lock of the week fame he's had, and he's like trying to get out of it now. He's trying to purposely blow it.
Too many people relying on him for his pick.
Right.
Now he
can't even go to picks. He can't even go to a restaurant anymore without people asking for his autograph. He wants his normal life back.
No, this is the perfect win-loss because if it misses, it's like, oh well, he was the biggest.
Everybody listening, do you hear him justifying his?
I was going to say, here we go. Here's the built-in excuse. I was going to say earlier, I was going to cut you off. I was like, he definitely has a built-in excuse somehow. I didn't know that you would just
when it hits
publicly admit it, but there it is, folks. The built-in excuse already.
I want to know. No, I want to know what you got when it hits. Now what do we do? I picked the biggest underdog to hit 8 of my last 9 weeks. Then what happens? And I'm on top of the world, baby.
You ever play roulette?
We're at the tippy top, Dan.
You bet on green in roulette.
We're at the tippy top, and we're only halfway there, baby.
We'll see what happens. I'm going to have to go on and off mute to cough here. We'll see what happens. This is an interesting lock of the week for sure. I'm sad we won't be watching it together because I love watching you just melt down when these don't.
Why aren't you guys watching it together?
Because I'm married and my wife was like, we're going out to eat Saturday night. You have that on the books, right? And it's like, oh my God.
He's making up dinner, so I have to live. So he's forced me to live stream again.
And Jacob, you don't go to dinner with them, Jacob? I thought you were like part of the.
No, I haven't been able to come.
It's a couples thing, and they don't allow dogs, Dan. Anyway, check out Jacob's live stream because I'll be out to eat. But Jacob has left the video. But check out his live stream. So check out Jacob's live stream, and we could all watch him melt together. Before you go, check out the description below. In there, we have links to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and more importantly, to our DraftKings League. Check out the league, join the league, participate in the contests, and as we get going and as you start winning, we're going to start handing out gift cards and participating and doing things like that. So check those out. Every week, there are drops on every fight card. So make sure you check out this channel and our social media on Saturday before the fights start so that you have our most updated lineups and picks.